I don't know what else to go to in terms of what to say about Brad. I just think Brad just deserves so much credit, man, with this team, with this program. I mean, I, I used to pray to just make the tournament as a bubble team, man. During the John Gross years, I used to pray that they just get in as like a what 8 or 9 seed and do whatever. During like the back end of Bruce Weber and basically entire John Gross era, this program was just in shambles. And Brad Underwood has come in, rebuilt it, took a few years to get to any kind of relevance. But Io, Kofi, Trent Frazier, DeMonte Williams, so many other names that I'm not saying right now, help build this back to where it's at now, because those guys, they set the foundation. They showed that Illinois is a place that, guys who are transferring or guys you're recruiting is a place that you want to go. And Brad Underwood kind of said that in post game too. Someone asked him about, Io, Kofi, and Trent and how they might feel after that game. And he said, I hope they're smiling, hope they're proud. They deserve to win one too. But they built it. And he's right. Those guys, Io DeSumo, Kofi Coburn, Trent Frazier, just those guys that he calls everyday guys, man. Like they help, even though they didn't win or get to the Sweet 16, but they help build a competitor. The Illinois has more Big Ten wins in the last 5 years than any team, more than Purdue, more than Michigan, more than Wisconsin, more than Iowa. He had built the program up to a point where he was having a ton of success in one of the toughest conferences in all of college basketball. Up until this year, this conference wasn't very good, but the last 4 to 5 years, the Big Ten has been really good. There's a reason that a lot of teams from the Big Ten were getting into the tournament, even though they weren't having March success. The teams in this conference would just beat up on each other, right? And yeah, when we got to March, Illinois would, we haven't, obviously the loss to Loyola, we'll always remember it. The year after, you almost lost to Chattanooga, but you won that game, but then lost to Houston. You lost to Arkansas last year, right? You didn't have the really good March success. This is the year where maybe, just maybe, we can say it was one that we're going to remember for a really long time. And I think that we're already kind of there just because it's been so long since we got to the Sweet 16. But again, like I said earlier, I just feel like this team is playing with house money. I think there's a legit chance to go to the Elite Eight and then just roll the dice against UConn or whoever, San Diego State, Yale, if they end up winning that game. I don't know. I don't know who's winning. But all I know is that Brad Underwood, everyone who doubted this guy, you all owe him and me an apology because of how much I defended him and for how much I've had to read your slander. All right. The guy has built something that is sustainable and something that fans can at least get up for every single year, the last 5 seasons. And now that they have got to the Sweet 16, recruits, it's only going to help recruiting, right? Only going to help recruiting. That's why it's so important and so big to me that they're in this position. All right. We'll see what happens. I'm just, again, I used to dream of just like making the tournament. And now we're making the tournament every year and we're striving for higher feats. We're striving to get to the Sweet 16. Now it's, can we get to the Final Four? Can we get back to the national title game for the first time since 2005, right? Like, it's the NCAA tournament. It's March Madness. You can never guarantee anything. You can never, Like one seeds are losing in the first round now. One seeds are losing in the second round now, right? Like you can never guarantee, no matter how great your team is in the regular season, how far you're going to go. But, and I think Brad has said this many times, it's all about just getting here as many times as you can. And he continues to do it year in and year out. We're here, and now we're playing on the big stage in the second weekend. And as a fan, I feel like that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. To just have a chance to make some noise, get hot at the right time, and just do something that's never happened. That's all I can do. And I'm happy he's the one running the show, because after watching the Gross era, watching Bruce Weber towards the end, it's just I've never been more confident in who the coach is for Illinois. Never in my life. So that's what I got to say about Brad, man. That's what I got to say about Brad. He is my guy. He also got to a Sweet 16 after he met me very drunk outside Wrigley Field last summer. So maybe he just needed to meet me to get there. All right? Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.